clerk, that is Phillip Kisia. And Phillip, we come to you. I don't know whether this ones are allegations, but it takes us to those moments where we had the likes of Atwoli saying that Uhuru is too young to retire. And the conversation started from there. And slowly by slowly, what it is that Gloria speaks of, these are things that have been there. You have had probably sessions with those ones that are in government, and these conversations really have been there. And therefore, we cannot just say that perhaps she's just, making, baseless allegations. So when you listen to her and the way she, reminds us of these, events chronologically, what would you say that there could be some efforts towards stopping us from getting to the election? And I mean, could it be too late in the day?
No, I think, Alela, President Uhuru Kenyatta has pronounced himself and he has made it very clear to Kenyans and all and sundry that he is ready to leave office immediately after the general elections and hand over to whoever would have won. So these speculations and rumors that people, are splashing around, I think should be ignored. But again, we live in a democracy, and my sister Gloria and even Brother Atwoli can talk, and nobody can stop people from talking. But I can, from where I'm sitting, I'm very sure that after serving a country in that office, or any other public office for 2 successive terms, I can tell you, you would not want to stay in that office for another one day, unless you have other intentions, which I doubt whether President Uhuru Kenyatta has. So, but let's not stop you from talking. Let Uhuru talk, but we have a constitution. We are guided by a constitution. So let us just ensure that we follow the Constitution. I think we should not trivialize this matter. People saying that Uhuru Kenyatta would want to stay on the power. And in any event, the statement, just hold on. The statement that Brother Atwoli has made to the effect that Uhuru Kenyatta is young is a fact. He is not an old man. He's a fact. He's only 62. So it doesn't mean that Uhuru Kenyatta has to be a president. This is, there are roles that one can play. My tenure at City Hall ended after 36 months. I didn't stay a day longer. I have not been, in public office for close to about 10, 11 years. So let us not be worried of what will happen. I think what is important right now is to ensure that we have a free, fair, credible, and verifiable elections. That is the responsibility of Chebukati. It is not the responsibility of Uhuru Kenyatta. It is not the responsibility of anybody. It is Chebukati and team. So, let us direct the gun to where it should be directed. We are directing the gun to the wrong persons. And again, just before we took a break, I had said earlier on that when you have a very important assignment like the one Chebukati has, as a good manager, you develop a critical path. You try and foresee any loopholes, any challenges that may come, in your endeavor to achieve your objective. So you see, like the advocate said, Chebukati knows very well that he's not working in a vacuum, that he needed the government printers. Does Gloria expect that you deliver a document, and such an important document, and within minutes that such a document is printed by the government printers? Do you know their processes? Do you know that the government printer can be held responsible if anything is printed that can, can damage the reputation of this country, or that can destroy the institutions that we have built over years? So there's a process. I mean, you can't just deliver a document in the morning with a small little note. You're not asking for a coffee date. You have been given a mandate, and if these people are serious, Chebukati and Majan and team are serious, they should have known that the document they present to government printers is a bulky document, and it requires time for people to go through just to confirm that what is printed is legal. There are processes. Now, so, I mean, here the question is, and I've heard Gloria talk about, particularly the political divide that I'm persuaded to. Okay, I'm assuming that he is a KK, is a sympathizer of KK. The question right now, and the opinion polls that have been done, and KK, I have this information. It is not who is winning. What we are trying to ensure is that the win is decisive, so that we do not have a problem similar to what we had in 2017. So it's not about winning, but by what margin.
Okay. Well put, well put. And perhaps this
I
matter of the
IEBC,
please ask him.
The document was delivered on June 30th. And in all fairness, it is not a coffee date. It is not a thing that you just pick like from WhatsApp and print. Which date are we on now? Which date are we on now? We are on 3rd July. So you want to tell me that...
We are on 8th July.
We're on 8th July, sorry.
Yes.
We're on 8th July.
Yes.
And they received, the government printers received the document on 30th June. And they still have not printed it. So it is not about printing it on 1st July. It's not about printing it on 2nd July.
The papers were here on the 7th.
It's about even now, even as we speak now. Why haven't they printed it? So don't tell me, and this is why we call it state capture of institutions that are supposed to be independent, including the government gazette.
All right, so, fair enough.
8th July, even if it's not a coffee date, even if it's not words, 8th July na bado wanataka kusema hiyo kazi ni nyingi sana imewashinda.
Lakini kwa nini sasa? Yes.
So let's also
in 2017,
let's be realistic and let's not try to form,
the candidates had been gazetted by the 20th of June. 20th of June, the candidates had already been gazetted.
But they should have been released long time.
It should have been done long time ago. You see, and what you're saying, the question is about the preparedness of IEBC. IEBC cannot pass the buck to other institutions.
In 2017, we did not have all sorts of petitions, including that one of the degree, which I was a petitioner, that actually was slowing down things. Remember, we've been dealing with petitions of who is qualified, who is not qualified to rise. So we didn't even have the two-third gender rule instituted. They tried to put that in. So if you look at 2017, but if you look at 2017 elections and these elections now,
it's always decent to allow others
that's
to speak.
okay, but you can also interject.
There's no reason why I should interject.
Proceed.
Because you have no content.
And I was saying this, it's fine.
That is not
yes.
allowed.
And I was saying this, that if you compare the litigations in 2017 and the litigations this year.
2017 there were a little bit more, I think.
Yes. This year is just
an easy ride?
Yeah, it's an easy ride. And you look at the nature of the petitions that we had. In 2017, we had serious petitions that went to the root cause, or they went to the root of the elections. Yeah? Even challenging the appointment of returning officers, a determination which was even made a day to the elections. You remember the chaos that was there until the order was set aside. So right now, what we are saying is that Chebukati should have done the honest and the decent thing. That if he's talking about strict timelines, he gave those strict timelines. They've been sticking to those strict timelines. We know that there are very few cases that are pending in court, especially those ones challenging the decision of the DRC. Yeah. Courts have been very hesitant to even give orders stopping the printing of specific ballot papers because they are going to affect other candidates. So it is something that would have would have proceeded. But, and I'm saying this, there is no reason why Chebukati and team should pass the buck. Yes? It is their full responsibility to ensure that they foresee that certain challenges might come along the way. And how do you prepare for these challenges? For example, you remember, an audit was done by KPMG. It's been 1 month. That report has not been released to the public. Are we still going to blame the government printer for that?
Definitely
And
not.
the report is there.
Okay.
You tell us 1 month down the line that the CEO is trying to come up with an implementation matrix of that report. So are you telling us that the register has not been corrected to remove those names that have been identified? So you are still looking for implementation matrix? You know, we need to come clear. And Chebukati needs to tell us exactly, yeah, why are certain matters not being handled with the urgency that they require? Yeah, is it because that there are people who've been locked out from this process? Is it that the commission, there are certain people who are doing everything, and therefore it is upon them and their speed to determine whether we are going to go to these elections with all these complications that we have? But the bottom line is, elections are going to be held on the 9th of August 2022. The question is, will we have free, fair, credible, and verifiable elections? And the only person who's in charge of that is one, Wafula Chebukati and his team.
Okay, well, and we look forward to
Alela,
free and fair
you're not
process.
going to allow me
To counter that.
Not counter.
Gloria,
I was actually
we have to
saying
drop this
something.
one for a moment. Yes, make it 30 seconds.
I was going to say, these elections actually have had a lot of challenges in terms of the processes that should be followed.
Yeah.
When we were talking about primaries, we had so many petitions out there. When we were talking about even the legitimate candidates who are actually legible, we had the degree cases, which actually was, you know, first of all, we petitioned, we were given a judgment for MCAs, and then for the whole of parliament. Then remember, even at one point, IEBC was pushed to implement the 2/3 gender rule from the party list. Which delayed also. We kept on asking for extensions, give us extensions, let's do this, because political parties were actually not ready for the administrative role or whatever that was going on. We also even had, and what he's forgetting is, before we even got into IBC, we were talking about the amendment of the Political Parties Act, where we now have the coalition political party. So when you can't compare 2017 and 2018, and this is, I'm talking about in direct relation to gazetting or giving a list of the candidates. So, like up till now, the same Azimio is the one fighting Sakaja on whether he's legible or not. Actually, today...
Is it Azimio, really, Gloria?
It is, because we know
Gloria.
their plan is to have Igathe run uncontested. So, at this point, we still actually today are waiting to know what is the fate of Sakaja.
And now that you mentioned Igathe...
I talk about Sonko. Sonko and all the other people who were impeached was also a whole new animal altogether, because now IBC had to deal with the fact that people are going to court. Are they legible? Are they not? We didn't have that in 2017.
Gloria, let's hold that one for a moment. And Sakaja's fate, we also get to know what plays out today. Yes. And so, speaking of Nairobi, Honorable Phillip Kisia, what happened with your bid for Westlands? And most importantly, do you think then Igathe should be the person who takes up Nairobi, or any other person? I'm not trying to ask you whom you are going to vote for, but you know, this I'm sure is a county that you hold at heart. You'd really want to see, you know, the happenings of Nairobi play out, and you know that Nairobi is in the right hands. What do you make of what has been playing out? Gloria spoke about, you know, Martha Karua being in Azimio and perhaps not happy because she was against the BBI. But we've seen Martha Karua unhappy at some point in time and stepped out. We have seen Igathe, you know, unhappy at some point in time and stepped out. The Deputy President William Ruto, on the other hand, says, you know, if these people were at the very same spot that I'm in today, perhaps they would not have been able to withstand the heat. And therefore, is that a plus? Is that to say that Deputy President William Ruto has a nice virtue that with all the difficulties has stood the ground, as you tell us something about Nairobi?
Okay, thank you, Alela. Now, before I talk about Nairobi, and you know, I have a passion for this city. I was born in this city just about 59 years ago. And I've grown here, worked here, went to school here. So this is a city that is very close to my heart. But just to support my brother, Advocate Morigi, the issue of organizing these elections falls squarely under Chebukati. Now, what stopped him from giving the government printers that information, that list, 14 days before 30th of June? What stopped him? This man has been given all the necessary resources to ensure that he is able to organize free, fair, credible, and verifiable elections. So The ball is squarely in Wafula Chebukati's court and his team. Let him not pass the blame. Let's come back to Nairobi. And when I was in school studying many years ago, there's a subject we went through called environmental turbulence and response to change. Maybe I would encourage Chebukati after this to go and study that particular, that particular course, because it will help you maybe in future. You're able to predict what is likely to happen, and you prepare a response for that challenge ahead. Now, the issue of Nairobi. Well, as a party, the party decided, a public office is not about an individual. Public office is about serving the public. It can be me, it can be you, it can be Gloria, it can be anybody. So as a party, the party made certain decisions to have Timothy Wanyonyi back in Westlands to vie for that seat, and he was given a direct nomination, and I support that, because it's not about Phillip Kisia, it's about it's about Nairobi, it's about Kenya. So I have no issues with that. And in any event, the country is big. You can serve in whatever capacity. Now, you asked me whether, between Sakaja and Igathe, these are people I know very well. They are all a bit younger than me. Of course, they are also junior to me in terms of management, and I have run the city, understand the city, what needs to be done. Of course, Igathe has come in a bit late, but he has all the necessary qualities to occupy that office. Sakaja, similarly the same, although there seemed to be a little challenge with his degree certificate. I'm praying for him. I hope he can overcome. But as to who I support, me, I believe in the party. So the Azimio Coalition Party has decided for this point in time that we shall have Igathe. And if you believe in the party, then you have no option. But whether the decision is right or wrong, you have no option but to support what the party has, decided. Now, you also brought in the issue of Martha. I didn't really understand what you wanted me to talk about Martha.
No, Gloria at some point in time says that Martha could be uncomfortable in Azimio because, well, we also are championing against the BBI. But then I was telling her at some point in time, we've also seen Martha uncomfortable at some sport, and she was brave enough to say, I exit. So we really...
Alela, nothing is cast on stone.
Yeah.
We are human beings, and you keep on reviewing. And I'm sure Martha had a position on BBI, and that position could have changed. It may not have changed, but that cannot stop him from, deputizing the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya, Raila Amolo Odinga. There's a difference between, people. It's healthy for people to disagree and agree. At that time, I'm sure. Maybe Martha had a different view of BBI. I don't know if that has changed. You probably need to ask her. But I can assure you, because I know Martha Karua fairly well, that is the best. And I said it before. If there's ever a decision that Raila Amolo Odinga has made that has made many people happy, and especially me, who understands and appreciates governance, good governance and leadership, is picking Martha Karua as a running mate.
Okay.
Martha Karua brings in a lot of value. One, you've never heard Martha's name in any scandal.
Gloria will challenge that.
Except BAT.
You've not heard Martha in any scandal. You've not heard Martha. Martha is a performer. When she was Minister for Education, not education, but Minister for Water, she delivered the changes in the water sector as a result of Martha. When Martha was given the responsibility of heading the Ministry of Constitutional Affairs, she did a fairly good job. I cannot talk about the running mate on the other side.
The other sides, there are 3.
Yes, the other side, KK. I've read about him. I've read a lot about him. There's nothing smart that I can say that this friend of mine has achieved.
Philip, let's all agree that there is none of them that is clean, just that maybe Martha could appear as though she is less...
No. You see, but Alela, you're either clean or you're not clean.
Okay.
You can't say that,
and she's not clean. She has a BAT scandal. The John Gidongo thing when she was a minister of...
Gloria.
No, let us not do this.
Philip must be privy to this.
Yes.
What are we doing
You
here?
are either clean or you're not clean. You are either white or you're black. You can't be both.
All right, let's take a short break and then come back, allow you to give us parting shots. No, we have to take a short break. Philip, let's take a short break. Gloria will remind you about the BAT scandals and all these talks that have been there. So we take a short break. We allow us to take... Okay. Yes. Oh, is it? Yeah. After this break.
Despite being visually impaired, he is a jack of all trades. It is our quest to find answers on how to take care of children with special needs and those with disability. You do not need to see musical notes to understand music, but rather to have your soul feel the vibe.
Actually, for us to make a wheelchair, we have to take measurements of the user.
After doing my assessment, I get to know the parent, I get to know the heaviness she's carrying.
Disability comes at different stages of life.
Well, do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. The next set of millionaires are farmers, as we know agriculture has been and still is the backbone of our economy. As we traverse the different counties to meet different farmers, we ensure to get the story of how they started farming and even how they continue to penetrate the market and overcome the challenges.
Hapa, the reason why nilieka goose na si ducks. Goose, they are very easy to maintain.
A lot of farmers keep on calling, inquiring whether you're supposed to raise some seeds in the nursery or you're supposed to do them directly in the field.
The greenhouse helps us control the temperature because the temperature needs to be between 28 to 32 degrees.
Walk this journey with us every Sunday at 6:30 p.m.
No.
I can confidently say.
How can someone sit in studio and talk about that Martha did not receive 2 million from BAT and that she thought and that she has actually come out and said she thought that it was a personal donation from an individual called Paul, and yet it was money that came from BAT and it went to a presidential campaign and later it was rectified through a lot of, I mean, come on guys, come on.
So that nobody is clean in this case.
Nobody is clean.
We're like choosing between a fox and a jackal.
If it's about
which
scandal,
one will eat us?
No, Alela, if it is about scandals, nobody is clean because Martha has a BAT scandal. And if you are going to talk about no guys, the monies were even paid via a proxy. 2015.
Which year?
2015. They were even paid via a proxy. They were not even. Come on, guys. Come on. We are talking about
the very same government that is here.
government was in place?
corruption scandal.
Let me ask you, which government was
It's
in
not
place?
about government in place.
Which government
Jubilee
was placed?
government
You
was.
people.
Okay, what capacity did the mother
Are
play
you
in
being
2015
serious?
for her
Are
to
you
be
being
part
serious?
of?
We are
to
talking
influence
about
anything?
a clean person who has no
Gentlemen,
scandal or
these
These
allegation
are
of
creations.
graft.
Let me tell you something.
Martha Karua
These are
has
scandals that are being created in people's mind to try
which
and taint
people's
mother.
mind?
Knowing
This
so
is
well
in the public
that
domain.
their candidate, who's the
Alela, when
Fair
they are
enough.
speaking-
All right, we
when
have
they are
to. You see,
speaking-
time in the best
when they are
interest of time.
speaking,
we
I
have to
told
close.
you to be
Gloria,
quiet. When
Gloria,
they are
in the best
speaking,
interest of time.
I'm
You know
told
what?
to
We actually
quiet.
mother.
Can I clarify
Let's
this?
make it even better.
Allow me
Parting
30
shots. Wakili,
seconds.
your parting
Allow
shots.
me 30
Your parting
seconds.
shots.
No,
Those
allow
were-
me 30
yes,
seconds.
Gloria, because of time.
2015,
It's 30 seconds,
Martha
then your
Karua
parting
received
shots.
2 million. She said that she thought those were actually personal contribution from a gentleman called Paul and not from BAT.
That is in the public domain.
When that
Let's
is
go
in the
out there
public
and do
domain,
yes.
and
Okay.
that is a corruption scandal that is
Wakili.
there because apparently she was receiving funds allegedly to ensure that BAT remains a monopoly. in the
Point is
whole
home.
thing.
Point is home, Gloria, and therefore that goes
Was
to
she in government?
If it's about
Point is home.
scandals,
Was she in government?
no, it's
What-
not
what
about
was the
being in
money for?
government or not
What
being
was
in
she
government.
supposed to
They are
influence?
talking
This is
about
about
candidates
corruption.
and
Which
running.
one?
It's about
So-
corruption. Let's not do that.
Philip,
Let's not
your
do that.
parting shots.
Martha
Your
has
parting shots,
corruption
Philip.
allegations.
Fair enough,
and
fair
I'm
enough,
going to
Gloria.
give my parting shot
No,
later.
Gloria. You see, I
You
called the
today,
shots.
today.
I called the shots.
Okay, let me give my
I
parting
called the
shot.
shots.
My parting
Request-
shot is
I
this.
called the shots.
We are fighting state capture.
And I think
Yes, Philip. Philip.
Adela, you are being very,
Proceed,
very
Philip.
nice to. you're
Close
being
it,
very
close
nice
it. Because she
to
says that
Gloria.
there are two Azimios here and there's one Kenya Kwanza.
No,
Give us your
no,
parting
I think
shots,
very-
Wakili. Wakili, Philip, your parting shots.
Now, well, I would want to encourage Kenyans to come out in large numbers to vote for the Azimio party, Azimio coalition party. It is the only party that has demonstrated that they have the interests of this country at heart, and they are ready for change. That's number. Number two, you know, there's something in management we call zero approach to management. When you hear somebody who intends to take over from where an institution is, and is talking about starting from zero, that is a man who is going to take you backward.
Okay.
That is a rare view approach. Any institution that is alive is somewhere on a scale of 10, even if it's at 2. As somebody who is coming in to take over leadership or to provide leadership, you start from 2, you don't start from 0. So on the other side, there are characters who want to take the zero approach mentality to management, starting from 0. That will waste time. You only have 5 years to deliver. At least if there's anything that Raila has told us, that he does not intend to start from 0. He is going to start from where Uhuru has left. And there's no doubt, if you look at the infrastructure projects that Uhuru has rolled out in the last 5 years, this is something to admire. Kenya is now ahead of Ethiopia. We were behind Ethiopia 5 years ago. We have overtaken Ethiopia. And right now, Kenya is in a position that can, in the next 5 years, not only be a leader in Africa, but be respected globally. So to all Kenyans, I know you have faith in Azimio, I know you have faith in Raila Amolo Odinga. Kindly come out in large numbers on 9th of August and vote in a government that is not only going to continue with the transformation program, but a team that has capable people, a team that has people who are clean.
Thank you.
You know, on the other side, if you look at the other side, almost
parting shots. There were supposed to be parting shots. Yes.
So, as a parting shot, you had your time. Kenyans, wake up on 9th August and vote for the preferred candidate. That is Team Raila Amolo Odinga Martha Karua.
Former Nairobi Town Clerk, Phillip Kisia. Thank you so much.
That is gender sensitive.
Thank you so much.
50-50.
Fair enough. Wakili, your parting shots. Now that we won't talk about, the president and his deputy.
And the slaps.
But then again, yes.
No, my parting shot is this, that we are heading into a very critical moment.
Yeah.
We are 31 days to elections. Basically, after today, we have 30 days to elections.
That's a month.
Yeah, that's a month. And the chairman of the IEBC has a critical role to play, and I will not stop at saying that. All eyes are on Phillip Kisia and his team. If there are any divisions within the commission, they need to be sorted out. If there are any issues that are yet to be resolved in terms of the legality of following the law in preparation of the elections, I believe it is for the commission to do the right thing. Let us not precipitate a constitutional or legal crisis with the preparedness of the elections. And at the same time, I will not stop calling at Phillip Kisia and team to be open, to be more transparent, communicate often, and we need to know and we need answers on the issues raised. And finally, I know that issues have been raised on the composition and deployment of county and constituency returning officers, their ethnicity and whether they are partisan. I believe that's a critical issue that also needs to be addressed. And I believe that IEBC will do that.
All right, and
yes.
we hope that it does. 30 seconds, Gloria. Or you're set?
My parting shot is simple. In the UK, Boris Johnson resigns. And in Kenya, they are calling for the deputy president to resign. Not the president. They are calling for the deputy president. That's one thing.
Gloria.
The second thing is we won't stop talking about state capture. And that is what is happening to this country. And that is what we are fighting. And that is the liberation that is actually going to take us to the next, to where we need to be economically. And the people who sold off the ports, auctioned our ports, the people who are controlling the oil and gas industry, the people who have monopolized milk, those are the same people who are trying to push for a candidate who is going to continue with the same actions of state capture. So I think if you are like me and you're struggling financially, then you know who you need to give your vote. You need to give your vote to the chief hustler, William Samoei Ruto.
All right, thank you so much, lady and gentlemen. It was nice having you, Akili. Asante sana for creating time, and as well as Gloria Oroba for speaking to us this morning, as well as Phillip Kisia. We close it, not in totality. Remember, it's a Friday. It's a feel-good Friday. Still so much lined up for you. The cake vouchers are here with me, but the beauty of it all, which is actually what we are selling some more this morning, is on the wine fair that is happening tomorrow from around 12 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. at the Roma Gardens, that is at Evergreen Center in Kiambu Road. The wine fair, which is more of the East African edition happening right here in Nairobi, is one that you do not want to miss out on. For the wine lovers, for those ones who would want to be initiated into this is your moment. And for the love of Morning Cafe, we say that we could give you the tickets to find your way to the fair, and most importantly, perhaps a bottle of wine that would get you, starting it up. It's as simple as telling us, who are this that are great companies that are going to be part and parcel of this fair. I mean, that's the simplest of questions that we'll be asking for you this morning. So once you get to answer this question, then you can be rest assured that you have this ticket all the way to the wine fair. And name 2 wine companies. Yes, name 2 wine companies expected the wine fair this Saturday. And you have this, or better yet, we ask whether Cabernet Sauvignon is red or white wine.